In 1970, the scientific world was convinced of one thing. Ancient African civilizations were land-bound. They believed the vast Atlantic Ocean was an impassable wall. But Thor Heyerdahl, a man obsessed with ancient mysteries, looked at the pyramids in Egypt and the pyramids in Mexico and saw a connection. On May 11th, 1970, he set out to prove it. He didn't use a modern yacht or a steel ship. He used ancient African technology. Built by master boat builders from Lake Chad, a vessel made of papyrus reeds called the Ra-2 was pushed into the surf at Safi, Morocco. This is the story of the voyage that proved the ocean was not a wall, but a highway. When Heyerdahl first tried this experiment a year earlier, the boat sank. Why? Because he had used builders who didn't understand the breadth of the reed. For the second attempt, he went to the heart of Africa. He recruited the Baduma people from the shores of Lake Chad. These master craftsmen had been building Kade boats for centuries. They understood that papyrus, when bundled correctly, becomes a buoyant, flexible muscle that can withstand the crushing weight of the Atlantic. On May 11th, when the Ra-2 set sail, it wasn't just a boat. It was a floating testament to thousands of years of African engineering that the West had ignored. The journey was 6,100 kilometers of open water. Many predicted the reeds would rot and the crew would drown. But the Ra-2 survived. For 57 days, the African papyrus absorbed the salt water, but stayed afloat, riding the North Equatorial Current, the same current that would have carried ancient North African explorers to the Caribbean. When they finally arrived in Barbados, they hadn't just finished a journey, they had finished an argument. They proved that it was technologically possible for Africans to have reached the Americas millennia before the colonial era. While mainstream history is still catching up, the Ra-2 gave us a glimpse of a global Africa that existed long before the maps were redrawn. Why does this matter? Because for too long, African history was told as a story of isolation. Heyerdahl's voyage on May 11th challenged that. It forced us to look at the Olmec civilizations of Mexico, with their giant stone heads that bear African features, and ask, could they have been visitors from the East? Today, the Ra-2 sits in a museum, a silent witness to the fact that African ancestors were likely the world's first true global citizens, navigating the stars and the seas with nothing but reeds and courage. On May 11th, we celebrate the bridge across the water. It reminds us that our ancestors were never limited by what the world said was impossible. Thanks for joining us for On This Day in Africa. Do you believe ancient Africans crossed the Atlantic before Columbus? Tell us your theories in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily mysteries of our continent. See you tomorrow.